Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. Sorry for the scuff production. I'm actually at WeebCon right now and I'm staying an extra day. I want to give you guys a video, but unfortunately my laptop runs like a potato, so it can't handle VTube Studio. So we're kicking it old school with a no VTuber model video. But that's not going to stop me from sharing some relevant news for you guys. And today we're going to focus on Stellar Blade because this game is about a month away from its official release and a lot of people are seething over it. So a lot of people have been talking about the demo that was recently released for this game, and the praise has been very, very strong. A lot of people are very excited about this demo, and they're saying the gameplay, not just the aesthetics, but the gameplay is really, really good. However, with that comes some predictable outrage from games journalists over at IGN. You can see Mark Kern here pointing out. So at IGN calls Stellar Blade protagonist a sexualized doll and says the creator has never seen a living woman. Yes, this is the actual quote. So it says this: "It's not new, and other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of their female characters, but where Bayonetta stands out with an iconic character design, or 2B from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplayers, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland, a doll sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman." Now, of course, we all know that is very ironic because the character Eve was created by a 3D printed scan of a real-life Korean model. And on top of that, if you do some research, you can find out the director is married to this woman right here, who's one of the main people behind the art team for this game. So yes, once again, IGN being wrong on multiple levels. It's actually kind of impressive that games journalists can get so much wrong in a simple paragraph quote, but that's hardly surprising at this point. But moving forward, IGN France would get a lot of criticism, and as Vera points out here, they would actually double down and show just how petty and angry they are about this criticism. So she says this: "IGN France was getting roasted for saying Stellar Blade's Eve is just a sexualized doll for people who act like they've never seen a woman." And then they added context about the English-speaking mob who Google translated it. Yes, you can see the original quote up here, and then they added this little section in parentheses saying, "This last sentence has been slightly edited for French-speaking people pretending not to understand what we meant, and the English-speaking mob who Google translated the initial text." Ah, yes. Games journalists seething over their ridiculous statements being questioned is very, very predictable. But moving forward here, there's been a lot of hype, especially surrounding the recent demo that was released. A lot of people are checking out the official appearance of Eve and the, of course, jiggle physics, as you can see in this simple climbing animation here that people have been going absolutely feral over. And that's something that is highlighted throughout this demo. It's of course has great gameplay, but people are checking out the design of Eve herself. And since, like I said, I'm at WeebCon, I can't play the demo currently, but here is the VTuber Lena showing off some of the interesting parts of this new demo.
Swing. Just gonna hold on. I gotta aim at the camera just right so I can get across the other bar. 1 second. I just want to be sure that I don't miss the bar. Ah, wait, I need to turn around real quick. Sorry. Okay, hold on. I gotta aim it. I can't miss, or I'm gonna fall in the water. Maybe if she turns around. Hold on. Okay. Alright, then, yeah, I think I've got it just right. Okay, right here. And if oh shit, sorry, I accidentally pressed the wrong button. Okay, I think she can go forward now. It's glowing. See, you know what? That's all the practice I needed.
So currently, a lot of people are enjoying that aspect of the demo, but also from many other reports, the gameplay of the demo is very impressive, and a lot of people are really enjoying the demo and are looking forward to the release that, like I said, is coming out in about a month. Now, of course, with this comes more seething on Twitter. Beyond just game journalists, we have people on Twitter who are very angry about the design of Eve from Stellar Blade. You can see this absolutely horrendous quote retweet of that previous tweet saying, "If you play games like this, you're just a weirdo who should have their hard drives checked." So of course they are implying that if you enjoy this character design, you are a predator, which is very interesting because fellas, is it pedophilia to be attracted to a video game character based on a 3D scan of a 24-year-old Korean model? Apparently this user thinks so. And also I can't help but recognize some of the xenophobia that we come to expect. Of course, a Asian looking character or someone that is based on an Asian woman immediately being infantilized by weirdos on Twitter who can't help but think of children every single time they see a video game character or an adult Asian woman. Very strange stuff. But continuing, here's another person posting a screenshot of a user basically saying that they're going to intentionally be stuck on this part of the game for a long time. A comment that a few years ago, let's say 5-10 years ago, you would have gotten no flack for. It's a harmless, goofy comment, but here we are in the year 2024 where people are trying to be offended by everything and are trying to attack people for anything, and this user posts a screenshot saying, "Wow, some of y'all need to put the controller down and talk to real women. Trust me, it's way better than a video game." I'm going to be honest with this guy. I'm not going to trust any of your opinions about the experience you've had talking to real women. I don't really think that you're probably too great at that, but with everything you're going to see people constantly saying that you're an incel, that you're a virgin, a weirdo, a loser, creep, all these things for simply enjoying an attractive character design with some physics added onto it. Like honestly, if you're really that bothered by any of this stuff, just avoid it entirely. There's no reason to go out of your way to screenshot these things and to seethe about it on Twitter. And of course, with all these things, it's like, you have people like me, like, I'm a married man. What if I say, I enjoy this, or I made a comment similar to this user? Like, what's going to happen? Bots like this literally malfunction because they have only a few hand-selected, preloaded responses they can give when they're angry about the designs of fictional characters and video game characters and alike. And if you challenge them, well, they basically don't know what to do. But moving forward, here's another tweet saying, "Every day I lose interest in this game as I find all the people doing are posting a sex doll simulator with $900 billion jiggle physics production." Yes, calling this character a sex doll simulator feels a lot more insulting when you realize that it's literally based on a design from a real human being. That seems pretty insulting to say. But this idea of this whole thing being some sort of scandalous sort of content is reflected in this tweet with 43,000 likes from a typical interaction baiter on Twitter saying, "I have not seen any gameplay of this game. It's all porn material." Which is very interesting because users like this will see a fully clothed character and immediately think it's porn. Which is very funny because the average Twitter user right now, they really can't differentiate between fan service in a video game and full-fledged hardcore pornography. The fact that they can't see the difference between the two is very telling, and honestly, it just points towards them being the one who's seeing sexuality and hypersexuality in literally every single piece of media that they come across. But moving forward, bot responses like that are reflected by a compilation of replies right here. This user says, "Holy shit, dead internet theory really is coming true," in those comments. So if you don't know what dead internet theory is, it's basically an idea that the majority of the content and interactions we see online are from bots or just repeated and replicated content. And you can see it reflected in this section of replies. People saying the same thing over and over and over again, word for word, bar for bar. You have users saying, "I haven't seen a single clip of actual gameplay from this game. I haven't seen a single clip of actual gameplay from this game." Repeating for a third time. Then down here, "Camera control could be golden in this game, Keck." And then that's repeated 2 more times. The reply section is just people literally regurgitating the exact same copy and pasted messages, literally including ... at the end. There is no originality, and it really does show this whole dead internet theory is something that is much more real than a lot of people gave it credit for a long time. But here's another insane quote retweet of a example from this game. This user saying, "If I can't play a game in front of my mother, I low-key don't want it." 27,000 likes on this tweet. First of all, why do you need to play video games in front of your mother? I mean, I guess these people are talking about interacting with women. I mean, I guess this is the women they're talking about when they say they've interacted with women. It's their own mother who they're playing video games in front of. But this idea of if you can't play in front of your mother, first of all, there's nothing in this game that's so insane that you should feel uncomfortable playing it in front of anyone. But if you're that insecure, I don't really know what else to tell you. You can probably cross off just about every video game out there because everything's going to be weird and uncomfy for you at this point if you're thinking Stellar Blade is something that is so damning and gross that you can't play it in front of someone without feeling immense levels of shame. But moving forward, we're going to revisit another tweet by Mark Kern here that has a message that is very similar to the previous tweet we just looked at. So he says, Reset Era is having a meltdown over Stellar Blade, with a series of replies from there. Let's take a look. So this one says, I live alone and I'd still be embarrassed to have this on my TV, referring to Stellar Blade. That intro sequence is so effing bad. It's just so many elements of fetish, tick, infantile nonsense. What the hell is with that slow motion? It's sad. I guess that's what it comes down to. There's really talented people working really hard to make a game that glorifies a flagrantly misogynistic depiction of its cast. It's just sad. And another person saying, I'm not participating much in this thread, but I am reading it. But I had to write regarding Stellar Blade. I haven't been disgusted at a game in a good while. This is bad, especially given the developers themselves and the gender war in South Korea. It's just aggravating. Agreed. I tend to be ambivalent with sexualized character designs in games, but everything about Stellar Blade is just beyond embarrassing and gross. Kinda hate how it's Sony funded and published. I feel like it wouldn't be getting anywhere nearly as much media attention as it is if it wasn't. And moving forward, saying another user replied, said, probably due to wanting to be closer to the developer who is very successful, GAAS, under their belt. I think we are going to see Sony prioritize how to make money with certain titles. I wouldn't be surprised if Shift Up and Sony don't do more collabs. Hell, when Sony partnered up with Stellar Blade, the CEO of Shift Up bought everyone there a PS5. And this reply says, I want to believe that Sony was fulfilling a contract and that they won't work with Shift Up again after it came out. They were a misogynistic developer who punished women working for them for supporting women's rights. But unfortunately, we all know they probably don't give a F. Now, of course, if you don't know what this is referring to right here, there were two feminist developers who were fired by Shift Up, not because they were simply expressing their views. They were quite literally saying, I will not work on this game unless we actually change significant portions of Eve's character design and her personality, because it made them fundamentally uncomfortable. Which, of course, as a responsible development team, they had to get rid of them because their moral beliefs were quite literally interfering with their ability to work on this game. That seems very cut and dry. But here's the last reply saying, wow, just wow. This is so much more ridiculous and worse than I even thought this game would go for. Edit. I see people elsewhere being like, the sexualization isn't even that bad. There's no voyeuristic camera angles. And I am convinced I do not inhabit the same world as them. Amazing thread right there, showing people having an absolutely normal response to an attractive video game character design. But moving forward, this is reflected by another insane story I wanted to cover very quickly. Like I said, I've been at WeebCon, so there's a lot of stories piling up. This one relates, it is an article from Niche Gamer saying, the Japanese Communist Party is encouraging members to report fan service manga to the United Nations. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real story. The commies are coming for your hot anime waifus. This is the reality of communism in the year 2024, where this is something they believe is actually important. Very predictable commie behavior, but let's see some of the quotes here. So it says, the Japanese Communist Party has reportedly created a secret report form to spread amongst its members in order to report young adult manga to the United Nations. Japanese Together blogger Misato Nakayama reported finding the form as a QR code in the Shimbun Akahata, the daily newspaper for the Japanese Communist Party. The form asked questions such as whether convenience stores carry adult magazines and names manga magazines that carry sign-in titles for young adult men, such as Young Animal, which serializes Berserk. You can see people here tracking some of this information on Twitter, and it's really, really crazy. This is where it all comes from. This idea of cracking down on manga and alike is a very bizarre policy for any party to have, but the fact that it is the Japanese Communist Party just goes to show you the kind of people who are attacking mediums like manga, the kind of deranged people that think this is something that is actually important to crack down on. It's very, very strange, but we also saw some replies here. So you have someone saying communists being evil, nothing new, with, of course, some Yojo Senkai here, where this user replies saying, that anime is making fun of you people. Yeah, you know, Zoomers like to throw around terms like media literacy all the time. This is negative media literacy. This is like how people thought Lollygod Requiem was actually a direct attack that was supposed to be shaming and harming lolicons. Meanwhile, the entire song is quite literally made for lolicons by a lolicon. These people just don't understand anything that they're viewing, and they will twist any narrative as long as it serves their own agenda, even if it makes them a blatant liar or hypocrite in the process. But overall, this entire situation involving Stellar Blade and these related IPs just goes to show the Puritan-like nature and hypocrisy of places like Twitter, where they see this design and they want to claim on the one hand it's unrealistic, and on the other hand, they like to shame anyone who enjoys it once they find out that it is based on a real person. It's very, very strange, but it's not surprising. That is the current status quo of Twitter. But that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys listening, especially without the VTuber model. I should be back home soon, and we'll be doing videos normal as we typically do with the actual model. But that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.